Hi, I'm Noah Falstein. I'm president of the Inspiracy, and I'm a freelance game designer and producer.
Noah, is this your first cross-media lab?
No, I came to Cross Media Lab here in Singapore last year about this time and enjoyed it so much when the opportunity came up to come back again, I jumped at it.
Well, what first attracted you to cross-media lab?
Well, I actually had read in someone's blog about a trip they made to Singapore, a friend of mine who was working for Microsoft, I think, at the time. And it sounded like such an interesting place that I looked through my business cards and contact lists and found that there were a few people I had met that worked out here. And I sent some email to them and just mentioned that I was interested in possibly coming out and was wondering if there were any game conferences or events that I might be able to come to. And one of them, a woman named Sarah Faye Crom, suggested that she knew someone named Brendan Harkin who might be interested. And sure enough, the timing was perfect, and Brendan invited me out here to Cross Media Lab.
What was the first game you played, and what really got you started in this lifelong interest?
Oh boy, well, lifelong. The first game was not a computer game because I'm old enough to have predated those, but a board game called, I guess appropriately enough, it was the flag game of the United Nations, and it was a board game where the cards that you used were playing cards that had pictures of flags from every country that was represented in the United Nations at the time, which was, I think, probably 1965 or so is when I was playing the game as a child. And it was great because I ended up learning a lot about geography, and certainly for years I was able to recognize the names of countries just from their flags. But that was really the first game that I got very passionately involved with as a child, and remember trying to think very hard about strategies and beat my older brother and sister at it. In fact, they had to team up to beat me, even though I was a lot younger than them, and made me cry when they beat me. So it's a strong emotional start to my whole game industry experience.
So what are the games you're currently playing?
Oh, currently I'm playing a lot of Advance Wars on the DS, which is a game I play when I exercise. I find I get a lot more calories burned when my mind is occupied. And I'm also starting to look at a lot of games because I'm on the awards board for a group of awards, so they send me a whole stack of games every year to look at. So I'll be seeing, I think Gears of War is one of the ones that's one of the favorites today, but I'm also looking forward to some of the smaller casual games and some of the handheld games. So I think there's some very creative work going on the DS in particular.
You're one of the co-founders of the Serious Games Summit, and so, I know, as you said in your presentation, some people might say, games are frivolous or stuff like that. So you mentioned your reservation, but really, how do you see this whole movement?
Well, I should clarify, I'm not one of the co-founders, actually. I am on the advisory board for the Serious Games Summit, but Ben Sawyer was really the main person behind it, and some of his co-workers were the ones who founded that. I just came in a little bit later and have been very interested in it. I actually started doing serious games in 1999, I think, with a game for Shell Oil that was designed to teach their employees more about what other parts of the company were doing. And it actually never got made, but it was a really interesting process and very exciting. And I think I've forgotten your question there. Maybe we can start again.
How would you assess how would you evaluate the serious games? I don't know. I know that you hate the term movement, but this direction, this trend.
Well, it's not so much the movement part of it. It's that I don't like the idea that implies that serious games are serious and not fun, or that games that aren't serious games are somehow trivial or frivolous. I think that's really what you're going after there. But I think that as a new opportunity in game development, serious games are great on a whole number of levels. That right now, commercially and financially, it's a relatively small thing, but I think that it has the potential to grow. And creatively, there's a lot more room for experimentation in serious games than in the mainstream entertainment games. And you also get to make games that really help people, literally can save lives. There are quite a few games out there that are oriented towards that, or at the very least just make people's lives better in really meaningful ways, alleviating suffering, helping people learn how to keep their health better, improve their nutrition, exercise their brains, all sorts of aspects.
As the last question, what are some of the most interesting projects which were proposed to you as a mentor for Cross Media Lab?
Well, I've seen a lot of exciting stuff just the last couple of days. I guess what's coming to mind was the session I just came from, the Land Transport Authority here doing games to help teach kids about how to get around the country and what's going on with the public transport sector. And I just love the idea that it's a perfect application of a serious game that can be really fun and involve exploration like a lot of games do, but teach you not just how to get around an imaginary world like most games do, actually be able to use that in the real world. I know when I was a kid I was playing a lot of war games and historical games that taught me about the geography of the world. In fact, I probably learned more about where Singapore was just because of the games that involved moving fleets around the world and seeing what a choke point the straits outside of Singapore are and how important that is militarily to be able to control this area.
Thank you very much, Noah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. It was a great pleasure.